Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best LinkedIn messaging strategy that you should be using in 2023 to get new clients. Now, if there is an outreach methodology that you should be using in order to have success with your LinkedIn lead generation, the E3C method is the one that you need to be using. The E3C method is something that me personally and my clients have used to close not just 5-figure deals, but also 6-figure deals without being salesy. This method comprises of 4 different stages and requires no setup time. At the end of this video, I'm going to be telling you how you can win a free 30-minute private coaching session with me, and there's also going to be 2 free resources that you can download to be able to replicate my process step by step with all of the guesswork removed, so make sure that you stick around until the end of the video. So I'm actually going to be going through slides from a module in my high ticket program, which is called the LinkedIn Blueprint Academy. Now, when should you use the E3C method? This is to be used when you want to connect with high quality prospects or thought leaders. The more time you have, the more you can use this method. So it works if you want to spend 10 minutes a day doing LinkedIn lead generation, or if you want to spend 10 hours a day and it's your full-time role just to generate leads, it's still going to work with your schedule. I suggest that you do run this method alongside a more direct outreach campaign using InMails as an example to be able to split test the results and see which segments of your target audience respond best to either the E3C method or a very direct kind of sales-based approach with InMails. These are the 4 different stages that we have. It's number 1, which is engage. So once you've identified your prospect, leave a valuable comment on one of the posts. If they're not active on LinkedIn, you can skip this step and go directly onto step number 2. Number 2 is connect. So try and use a commonality, something that you guys have in common, to be able to personalize your connection request. It is called a connection request for a reason. Try and also include a question in here that encourages conversation, because sometimes when you send a connection request and you just make a statement, somebody might accept your request but not respond anything to you, and then it just becomes a little bit more difficult to start the conversation. So just try and include a question there as well. Number 3 is converse. Lead with value, ask questions, and do not sell. Like, wait for a way in to be able to sell so it's more natural. Just don't be pushy from the gate. If that's the kind of approach you want to have, then maybe don't follow my content, because I heavily follow a social selling approach. Figure out what problems your prospect is currently facing and see if you have a solution that would help to alleviate that pain. Number 4 is call or referral. So if it seems like you have a good fit with the prospect you're speaking with, you can send your calendar link. I would have a calendar such as Acuity or Calendly that you can send in order for somebody to book a time in your calendar, just because figuring out a time manually, especially if you're in different time zones, gets a little bit tedious, and then somebody might not respond to you straight away and then your availability changes. It's just a lot of back and forth hassle that you don't need. So if you don't have Acuity or Calendly yet, I would recommend signing up for one. There's free versions and even the paid versions are super affordable. Carrying on with this, is there anyone in your network you can introduce them to that could help? Can you send them a resource to help them in the meantime? So yeah, if somebody isn't a good fit, instead of just not responding to them or ending the conversation, maybe see if there's somebody else that would be able to help them out in a better way that maybe you cannot, just to keep that good relationship there, because you never know, they might come to you down the line and say, hey, XYZ person in my network needs help. You were top of mind for me. Can I give you an introduction? So going into engage, this is exactly what you want to do. So for number 1 with engage, find the list of high quality prospects you want to get into your pipeline and open all of their profiles in new tabs. Because you do have the 100 connection request limit per week, I would recommend running this method at 20 per day, Monday to Friday, or maybe a little bit less if you want to have some spare connection requests that might come up with random profiles, or you go to an event and you want to connect with somebody new. So maybe 15 a day is a good place to start. Then what you want to do is, on these open tabs, go to each person's profile, and if they do have content, you want to include this step. If they don't have any content, skip onto number 2. When you find one of their recent posts, you want to like that post and leave a valuable comment. So avoid putting something like nice post or thanks for sharing, like it's just super basic. Try and go a little bit further with your comment, and you want to include the 3 following touch points as a guideline. Compliment what you liked most about the post, leave value, and then ask them for any tips, tricks that they use to encourage a response. So you're kind of saying, hey, I loved when you said X, insert like something specifically that they covered in the post that you enjoyed. Leave value, maybe something that you have from your own personal experience that you want to share with them and other people that are viewing the post, and then ask them a question. Try and further that conversation to get a response from them back onto your comment to get a little bit of back and forth. You can repeat this process once or 2 to 3 times, depending on how many touch points you want to have before you reach out to connect. Personally, I think twice is enough, and 3 times just some people don't have time for it. So maybe 2 times. Obviously, if this person doesn't have a really large following, then maybe you don't even need to do this at all, or you could just do it once and that is enough. Now more than ever, it's important for anyone in a lead generation role to embrace social selling, because the traditional methods of selling just don't cut it anymore. Buyers are more informed than ever, and instead of being sold to, they want to be engaged with, which is where social selling comes in. For this video, I've partnered with HubSpot to gift you a comprehensive guide that will walk you through the A to Z on what social selling is and how to start doing it. It goes over literally everything from building your personal brand to finding and engaging with prospects. Also, if you're looking for something a little bit more advanced, I would personally recommend checking out number 21, which touches on what a Boolean search is. This is actually one of the most asked questions I get by my clients, and it's basically a cheat code to getting the most accurate list of prospects before you start doing your outreach and using the E3C method. So if you want to succeed in today's selling environment and you want to start interacting with your prospects in a non-salesy way, make sure to click on the link in the description, and I'm also going to pin it in the comments. All you need to do is enter your email and the guide will get sent straight to your inbox completely for free. Number 2 is sending the personalized connection request. I found it works really well to include a reference to the content pieces that you've engaged with. Don't try to sell or pitch anything here. Rather try to initiate conversations so that you can build rapport. The only goal with a connection request is to get somebody to accept. The goal isn't to sell or do anything else, just have it in your head. I just want them to accept my connection request. What do I need to say or do in order for them to do that? You can message them directly as soon as they have accepted your request. So this is kind of opening the gate to further conversation, which hopefully is going to lead to a sales conversation or a phone call, etc. What's also going to happen when you have connected is that they're going to see your content coming up on their feed and vice versa. So this helps you generate top of mind awareness and can also lead to maybe an inbound interaction from this prospect that you've connected with, because they're going to see your posts, they might resonate with something or think, oh, this is a really good fit, I'm currently looking for XYZ solution, and they're gonna reach out to you. I actually added a little example here of a connection request. Obviously it's not copy paste, it's just something that you could get started with. Hey, insert their first name, say their name is Jessica. Hey Jessica, I found myself binging your content, loved your post on, insert the topic of the post that you interacted with, and thought the next natural step was to send you a connection request. Best, Natasha. As simple as that. So number 3 is converse. Now you have a few options here. Option number 1, if you asked a question in your connection request, then you wait for them to respond to you and you just have a normal conversation back and forth. Second, you can run a sell by chat sequence. If you guys want me to do a video on this, I actually have full scripts that you can essentially take and just repurpose to make it fit your particular product or service. So maybe comment down below if you want me to do a video on the sell by chat sequence. Third, you can thank them for connecting. Keep posting content and wait for them to engage in a 2-step. I can also do, because this is linked to other videos that I have in the program, if you want me to explain what a 2-step is, let me know and maybe I can create a training around that as well. And then number 4, which is my personal favorite, ask a question that aims to discover a pain point and then help them problem solve just through typed responses or by sending them a piece of content. Like for example, these slides that I'm running through with you guys. If you're having a conversation with a prospect and they have a particular pain point that you have a resource around, maybe sending it to them is a way to build that trust and also initiate active reciprocity. When you do something for somebody else, they're usually more willing to exchange something for that, which in an example like this could be their time by hopping on a sales call with you or a discovery call with you. A piece of content, yours or share someone else's that is relevant, and tell them that why you thought this would be of some help to them. So instead of you sending your own resource, maybe you have a YouTube video or an article or something else relevant written by somebody else, ideally not a direct competitor, that you can send to them and say, well, when you mentioned that, I thought this would be helpful for you. I hope it helps. This is a really good way to have natural progression to a sell by chat sequence. Here's an example of the intro that I use. This is just a particular conversation that I had and how I opened this conversation. Hey William, I hope you're enjoying your weekend. I always like to ask new connections this question. What kind of content would be useful for you right now when it comes to selling on LinkedIn? Always good to keep a pulse on what sellers need help with. I'll also create some content answering your question as a thanks for providing me with some insight. Chat soon, Natasha. PS, grade 10 piano is impressive. I saw that from his profile. At the bottom it has skills and certificates and awards where people can add particular accomplishments that they have, and one of his was grade 10 piano. So I just wanted to put that in there so he knew I had taken the time to go through his profile. And then his response was, hi Natasha, I've watched some of your videos and they are great. One thing would be how to automate personalized messages like this. I find it impressive that you were able to send me a message like this so quickly with that grade 10 piano note. This is where you move the conversation to a discovery / a sales call. This is number 4, this is for convert. I usually like to set up a 15-minute discovery call as it's easier to book more of these. The framing is more to solve part of their problem, and then at the end, book in a sales call for a different time. Sometimes if you and the prospect both have time, you can go straight into that conversation if there's a flow. So that is everything for this video. I wanted to thank you guys for watching until the end. If you do want a chance to win the 30-minute private coaching session with me at no cost, make sure that you download the free guide from HubSpot, either in the comments or in the description of this video. Once you've done that, comment yes down below in the comments, and I'm gonna be picking one person to give a free call to in the next 72 hours from this going live. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.